Why would an upcoming author catfish her peers, manipulate her friends and team, and create a totally separate personality? Well, lucky for you, I can't get enough of the receipts that were leaked on Twitter, so let's talk about the many faces of Cait Corrain. Hey y'all, welcome to my channel where we deep dive into some unethical behavior in niche online communities. If that's something that you're interested in, I would love it if you would like this video and subscribe to the channel. So let's jump right in. Let's start with some important background on the site GoodReads. GoodReads was established in 2006, serving as a hub for readers to share book recommendations and rate each title good or bad. According to GoodReads, the author program allows published authors to claim their profile page to promote their book and engage with readers. In 2012, Amazon announced the acquisition of GoodReads, bringing in a huge financial backing to an already pretty booming platform. GoodReads reportedly hosted 125 million users and 3.5 billion books. In multiple articles, authors referred to GoodReads as a necessary evil, but it did have a hold on the book community, giving readers a lot of power to decide the fate of a new release without ever having read past the first page. In August 2021, Time magazine posted an article reporting scammers and cyberstalkers were increasingly using the GoodReads platform to extort authors with threats of review bombing their work, and they were frequently targeting authors from marginalized communities. GoodReads, in a statement response to this article, stated that the company was actively working to resolve many of the review bombing problems. So just to reiterate, this site is owned by Amazon, who has a market cap of $1.5 trillion, but can't figure out how to verify its users, I guess. So there's that. And there have been many issues with this service in general, but as of today, it appears that the scam calls are now coming from inside the house. On December 5th, 2023, Sharon, and I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, who is an author, tweeted, "If you as a debut author are going to make a bunch of fake GoodReads accounts one-star bombing fellow debuts you're threatened by, can you at least not make it so obvious by upvoting your own book for a bajillion different lists with those same accounts?" She also noted that there were many receipts and that they shouldn't try to pretend to be one of the victims, but that she wasn't going to leak the receipts so that the person's career was not ruined. Another Twitter user by the name of Susan C. Sheffield tweeted on the 6th at 6:53 a.m., "Strangers want to know so y'all don't support that author while simultaneously not supporting the debuts affected anyway. That's why nobody's saying anything right now. This is hot tea for y'all. Meanwhile, debuts have to deal with an albino snake in the henhouse. Let us process this." This user is actually named Bethany Baptiste, who describes herself as a bi, Black AF Gemini from the South. This tweet will come back in a big way later, so let's just put it in our pocket for now and hold on to it. For context, it's also important to know at this stage that there's an active Slack channel with some 2024 debut authors who provide each other with advice and encouragement and support. This Slack channel began to try to get to the bottom of the review bombing, so excuse me while I jump back and forth between Slack and Twitter to try to give you a very clear and concise timeline. So let's go back to the very beginning. Sharon posted the tweet on the 5th, opening the door to all the speculation and confusion about these review bombs. Bethany then made her subtweet at 6:53 a.m. the next day. At 10:53 a.m. on the 6th, Meredith Mooring enters the Slack, stating that the author is working on a statement. They didn't personally do this, and they do have proof. Meredith, girl, we're gonna need to work on your trust because this was not it. Meredith follows up with, "Give it 1 or 2 days, my girl's gonna explain everything," and she has screenshots. So about 12 minutes later, Cait enters the chat, naming herself as the author in question and claiming that she did not review bomb anyone and that everyone on her team was working to respond to the affected users. She started by saying she was part of another writing group and issued a statement there, and that Meredith could back her up on this because she's also in that group. So now this Slack channel can connect Meredith and Cait as a supposed friend for the first time. Cait then posted several screenshots to the Slack. In this screenshot, she explains that someone that she knew created a bunch of fake accounts and targeted 2 specific authors and then several other authors of color just for shits and giggles. Her friend's name is Lily, and she knew her from the Raylo writing circles. That's gonna come back up later. Cait claims that she found out about all of this on the 5th, and she's just gonna jump right into the screenshots. But before we get into the screenshots, you might be asking yourself, who is Cait Corrain? Cait Corrain is an author who was scheduled to release her debut title, Crown of Starlight, on May 14th, 2024, with the US publisher Del Rey. So that's an imprint of Penguin Random House. Additionally, Daphne Press, which is a UK-based publishing company operating as an arm of the book subscription box Illumicrate, we're set to feature her book on May 2024 in their subscription book box. Cait appeared to be in a pretty good place from what I could see. Her publication was going to be going well in the new year. She also was receiving pretty good reviews on GoodReads even prior to this situation. So what did Lily have to say for herself? Let's just look at the screenshots and see. Hi, my name is Mercedes, and I will be reading for the parts of Cait and Lily. So if yesterday's nonsense wasn't enough, today I got an email that said there were a number of ratings and reviews left on my book by illegitimate accounts, which I guess explains why my rating was fluctuating wildly up and down over the last week. Also, my car is in the shop and they don't know why the battery doesn't work, but they'll get back to me when we know anything. So I'm not really holding out hope. This week continues to spiral and I go with it. What do you mean? About what part? A lot of things have happened. The ratings. I mean that people were making fake accounts to rate my book, or books in general, I guess. So someone was rating your book low? No, the email was fucking weird. Like, question mark, question mark, question mark? Pause, because now GoodReads has contacted Cait and said, hey girl, stop giving your book 1-star reviews. That's against the rules. We're gonna have to shut down your account. Chill. It seems like the reviews were positive, but I didn't do anything. Rating books high is against the rules? No, but making fake accounts to rate them high is artificially inflating a book reviews. That's against the rules. Eek. Oh, I didn't realize you could get in trouble. What? Please don't get mad. I made a couple of accounts. I think that was me. What? Why? The other night when you were worrying that your book would get overshown by bigger books at your publisher, I wanted to help. So I made a couple of accounts rating your book high. I'm sorry, I really didn't think it would be a problem. What the fuck? Why? I don't need fake reviews to help me. Jesus Christ. I'm really sorry. I really didn't think it would hurt. I was trying to be nice. Oh my God. I don't even know what to say. I don't need you to step in and try to be nice with this. Do you have any idea how patronizing that is? How humiliating. How much damage you could have done? I'm going to be sick. Literally going to vomit. Someone just posted this screenshot in my writing group. Please, for the love of God, tell me you aren't actually stupid enough to use the same accounts that you made to boost me to bomb other people. Well, I didn't think anyone would notice. I'm literally going to be sick. I need to email my agent. This could literally cost me my fucking career. I don't even know what to say. This is such a violation of my trust and out of friendship. And of out friendship. Sorry, this is hard spelling. I'm so sorry, Cait. I'm really sorry. I didn't think it would hurt. How could it not hurt? Who the fuck did you go after? It was just the books you said you were worried about on your social media. Wicked Gods and Fate Inked in Blood. Okay. You went after people in my imprint? In my debut group? Do you have any idea how much this could have cost me? I could lose my deal. I could lose everything. If this is what Sharon was talking about, I'm going to kill you. All day I've been sitting here worried that someone was review bombing me, only to find out that I wasn't the victim of a review bombing campaign, but instead, someone I trusted and considered a friend really thought I was so insecure and helpless that I needed you to fucking step in and level the playing field. Sorry, my kids are awake. I didn't think people would think it was you. I tried to make the accounts look real. I don't even know what to say. It seems like you know what to say. You have a lot of things to say. Like so many things to say. I don't even know what to say. That somehow makes it even worse. Seriously, what the fuck, dude? I trusted you. I told you about stuff I was insecure about and you literally turned right back around and pulled this shit. You understand that we are done here, right? You understand that our friendship is over. I really didn't mean to hurt you. I was trying to help. God, I can't even keep talking to you. What the fuck? Well, then stop talking. Stop talking. I'm so sorry. I don't care. This was such a shitty thing to do. Is there anything else you want to tell me? Anyone else you targeted? Just for shits and giggles. Any other people you wanted to destroy in my name? If I turned into a slam poetry, I don't know. I don't know what I've done. There were a couple other books that I left some reviews on to try to make it look less obvious. Names. Who? I don't know, just some other people on the debut list that I saw getting a lot of buzz. I just wanted to help. This is psychopath behavior, she says. Unironically. I'm sorry, I was only trying to help. We'll get back into the screenshots later. At the same time that everyone is processing these screenshots, Cait continues to plead her case in other Slack channels about how terrible she felt about the whole situation. For just a little bit more sympathy, she let everyone know that she was sobbing, but she didn't want to lose her peers' respect. There were a lot of questions cropped out in these screenshots, I think, to protect the identity of another person in the group, but whoever was doing the questioning of Cait deserves all the flowers, like A+. So around 11:45, the group starts asking for the proof. I know I'm being very specific about time frames, but they become important in a little bit. So the group's asking, like, who is Lily? What's her handle? How long have you been friends? And then based on the context of some of the responses from Cait, it seems like someone clearly started questioning the validity of the screenshots when the messages seemed to jump back and forth between present and past tense. And this was being shared around noon, yet somehow the today was showing a time of 8:45 p.m. So back to Meredith for a second. At about 12:04, she is very surprised why people do not believe the information to be true from Cait, but she wanted everyone to know that she's definitely not being an asshole. She's just asking some questions. And what about any of this seems suspicious? And me, I have some friends that are kind of naive, but Meredith is definitely somebody that would be featured on MTV after not meeting her husband after 5 years. When the other authors had trouble locating this person on Reddit, Discord, or even Twitter, the explanation from Cait was, well, I don't know what to tell you. And she provided a screenshot of Lily's Discord account that was apparently established in 2018. The group then wanted to see proof that her and Lily had a conversation prior to December 5th, anything before that date, even on December 4th. So now Cait's busy. She got to go. Her team said, please stop making statements. Please stop talking to this Slack channel. And she just wanted people who were affected by the ratings to reach out to her directly. But everyone else was just going to have to be happy with what she had offered them. And again, our anonymous questioning queen says, okay, you take your time to Photoshop the proof, girl, and you get back to us when you're done with that. I'm sure she then started scrambling at like 2.5 speed. I'm sure her face, I wish I could see her face when this happened. Just chef's kiss. So Bethany does reach out to Cait around 12:49 and goes all the way in on her. She makes it very clear to Cait that none of this makes sense. None of this is adding up. The math is not mathing. If she wanted to pull this off, she should have scammed better, and then she would have gotten away with it. Meanwhile, on Twitter, Meredith tweets at 1:11 p.m., it's really disappointing that other authors immediately stooped to making fun of my albinism in call-out post. Having albinism, I hope I'm saying that right, is a disability. It's a reason I'm blind. You can dislike me if you want to, but you aren't helping anyone when you make jokes about me being albino. This wasn't clocked by Bethany straight out because she was busy going in on Cait. She was giving her full opinion, but Meredith didn't leave it there. She posted to the Slack channel at 1:34 p.m., I would appreciate if you guys could refrain from calling me an albino snake on social media. I do have albinism. Albinism is a disability. It is the reason I'm blind, the reason I have a guide dog, etc. I'm not angry at anyone for doing this, but I personally think it does not help anyone involved to resort to name calling, especially when people with albinism are harassed and discriminated against for having this condition. You guys may not agree with my assessment of the situation, and that's fine. You don't have to. I guess I just thought the folks in this group were more courteous than that. So the Slack channel becomes completely derailed by this conversation. Several Slack channels are privated. Bethany couldn't access them. With a lot of back and forth between Bethany and Meredith, there was really no resolution to this. Bethany did far more than I would to try to explain the phrase an albino snake in a henhouse from her tweet that she posted at 6 in the morning. Additionally, at the time this was posted, Bethany and Meredith had no interactions. We have a Black woman who is mad that Cait or her friend Lily tried to tank her ratings, and now Meredith shows up in the chat to become the main character in a situation that could have been handled privately. But for my sake, I'm glad Bethany chose to publicly drag Meredith because she had no business getting involved in any of these conversations. When Bethany posted the tweet, she wasn't aware of Meredith being a friend of Cait and didn't even know her, much less know that she had albinism, so the tweet could not have been aimed at her since she was a non-character in this story. I did not like this vague reference. It was something that was aimed at a group when it was specifically Bethany that had said this on Twitter. So just address it with her one-on-one like the rest of the group was trying to do with Cait. A few people called the tweet racist, which I don't have time to explain racism, so no, it wasn't racist. In Bethany's response, she did indicate that she was later made aware that Meredith and Cait were friends. Bethany took to Twitter to explain her tweet in detail, and in this thread is the first time that they say Cait's name publicly. So Sharon told them not to make these girls out her, yet her friend had to bring it to Twitter, had to call Bethany out, and so now here we go. Not long after this conversation, Sharon had had enough with the accusations being thrown at Bethany, and she posted 31 pages of receipts publicly showing what led them to believe that Cait was behind the alleged bad behavior. These receipts included screenshots of the GoodReads accounts in questions, past GoodReads history showing the fake accounts were consistent with Cait's activity on the site, and a text message thread between Cait and a friend named Lily, who she was accusing of creating these GoodReads accounts. Many people have made videos on TikToks outlining the evidence, but the major critique came from the obvious mass inclusion of Cait's books on a list for 2024, as well as each of these accounts liking the other one's negative ratings to boost those ratings even higher. So now the World Wide Web gets the opportunity to decide for themselves. The odds were very much not in Cait's favor. Now that the consensus was clearly against Cait, with people pointing out the inconsistencies in the spacing of the text, the time warp activities in the conversation, the absence of anyone named Lily from the Raylo fandom, with all of that in mind, let's read a little bit more in the text messages between Lily and Cait, because Lily goes full reputation era Disney villain on Cait, and it is beyond belief. Come on, Lily. Actually, no, I'm not sorry. I was just trying to help. Yeah, I messed up, but I was trying to be a good friend. It's not that big of a deal. And if it is, maybe you should try being nicer. If your career is so fragile that something like this could break it, then maybe I should keep going. You're such a see you next Tuesday. I don't say that word. You're not better than me. You're just insecure and pathetic, and your book is terrible. I was trying to help you because I felt bad for you. You're gonna regret this. This girl got time. Smiley face. Your move. Which, that is just an epic way to end a conversation. I'm gonna start ending my work conversations with, I finished up this task. Your move. So one thing that was not included in the original screenshots was that later on, Lily does confess that she has mostly targeted people of color in this GoodReads ratings bombing. So she did acknowledge that she knew that these were targeted specifically at a group of people. Just a few things that are worth mentioning in this message. This message conversation could have easily been created with a little bit more realism. It's 2023, for goodness sakes. There's websites and apps for everything. Secondly, aren't you a writer? I hope your book planned to have better plot twists than this one. This reminded me of one of those ads that you get when you're playing like idle games online for episodes where like every character is given Cinderella vibes. My favorite line is when she calls Lily a psychopath, like the mental gymnastics that she had to jump through. Last, where do you get this much time? Think about the logistics of this process. This woman created a fake account, gave actual written reviews to books, then she logged out of that account, logged in as a new user to like the previous review, and then write a new review. She then logged out of that account and did this again and again and again. This takes like the most dedication to pull off so poorly. She then created a totally fake persona, created a fake relationship with herself, but then dropped the ball when it came to editing, spacing in messages. $20 online could have given you all the evidence that you need. You just need to do better. If you're scamming, you gotta do better. I know that Sharon posted the 31-page document, but I wasn't sure if she was the actual one who put it together. I missed that in the text thread. But if she was, round of applause to her, because most people who dig into information this deep get a bad reputation or titled as an armchair detective. But so many of these things that are not considered crimes are super unethical and won't get the attention that it's needed because it's not super sexy in the news media. But if everyday people don't put in this kind of work, these kind of cases don't get solved. So Cait goes dark for several days, but her team does not. Cait's publisher, manager, bookbox contract, and anybody else who was associated her completely sever ties. Shortly after, Cait issued the following statement on Twitter. Dear friends, family, readers, fellow authors, and members of the publishing community. Since June 2022, I've been fighting a losing battle against depression, alcoholism, and substance abuse, the full scope of which I've hidden from everyone in my life out of shame and misguided belief that with the right medicine and enough therapy, I could beat it. In late November 2023, I started new medication, and on December 2nd, I suffered a complete psychological breakdown. During this time, I created roughly 6 profiles on GoodReads, and along with 2 profiles I made during a similar but shorter breakdown in 2022. I boosted the ratings of my book, bombed the ratings of several fellow debut authors, and left reviews that ranged from kind of mean to downright abusive. 2 of those authors, Molly X. Chang and Danielle Jensen, are fellow Del Rey authors. Camila Cole and Bethany Baptiste just happened to be on the wrong GoodReads list at the wrong time. I felt no ill will towards any of them. It was just my fear of how my book would be received running out of control. My memories of this are extremely fuzzy, so it's possible there are a couple of other authors. If so, please know I take full ownership of what I did to you as well. I'm sorrier than you'll ever know. There's nothing I can say to erase what I did to you. When I was slapped on the wrist by GoodReads and vague tweeted by a handful of people, I panicked that my secret was about to get out, and rather than taking responsibility for my actions, I tried to cover my tracks. Still in the middle of this breakdown, I made up the world's sloppiest chat with a non-existent friend who was supposedly to blame and sent fake apologies for the actions of said friend, which only made things worse. I betrayed the confidence of my agent, my pub team, my readers, my friends, and betrayed my own deeply held values. I also dragged one of my dearest friends and fellow debut authors in the mud with me when she came to my defense. I'll leave her name out of this so as to not put her in even deeper. However, if she wishes to come forward, I'll apologize to her publicly as well. Let me be extremely clear. While I might not have been sober or of sound mind during this time, I accept responsibility for the pain and suffering I caused. And my delay in posting this is due to spending the last few days offline while going through withdrawal as I sobered up enough to be brutally honest with you and myself. I know some of you won't forgive me, and I recognize that you're not required to. No one ever wants to be judged for their worst actions, but that's not always up to us. I'll be reaching out to everyone directly impacted, though that might take some time since I'm checking myself into an intensive psychiatric and rehab facility, which means I'll mostly be off social media, as I need to give 100% to the program if I want it to stick. All I can do going forward is try to live my life in a way that shows you these aren't empty words. Yours with so much love and utmost heartbreak, Cait Corrain. I would never question whether someone was suffering from mental illness, and as a Lexapro queen myself, I know the struggles of trying to find the right medication. My friends can definitely attest that I've had some rough times during medication changes or when being on the wrong med. For the most obvious absence in this apology, it is clear that the choice to target people of color in this scam is missing. Cait can say that this was specifically due to her insecurities and fear of her book performance, but how can you explain one of the authors being a Black indie author? They are in no way a competition to Cait, who has these deals with these major publishing companies. There were also only 4 people named as affected authors, and it has been proven to be somewhere closer to 10. Cait says that when creating these fake profiles and subsequent sloppy fake chat messages, that she was still in the midst of a psychological breakdown. She says that her memory is foggy of this incident, and so others might be tied up in the mess, but she can't really remember. But let's not forget that Lily was definitely up to speed. Also, she created 2 of these accounts back in 2022, and I don't know about you, but I can't even remember my passwords for my current account, so she had to have some memory of creating these things or she couldn't get back into them. She was perfectly fine, in my opinion, with never taking responsibility or accountability for what she had done. If Bethany would not have made this exchange public and named her specifically, it's likely that Cait would have never suffered any repercussions for her actions. Sharon initially hoped to not ruin her career, and she was, I think, being completely fair. So ultimately, I believe that if Cait had owned up to the situation, apologized to the people involved, this would have never became the situation that it is today. Cait dug her hole deeper and deeper, and then she decided to throw the ladder 10 miles out of reach, and she couldn't get out of the hole. I think it's super important to highlight Bethany in this story, who took so much shit for being angry about what had been done to her. Bethany is a debut author who has put her heart and soul into a publication just for it to be intentionally tanked by an author who had every opportunity in the world to outperform every single author on this hit list. It says she will be checking herself into an intensive psychiatric rehab program, and for her sake, I really hope that it is successful. I don't believe that Cait deserves an angry mob because she has definitely made her bed and she's gonna have to lay in it. When it comes to lesser known bad behaviors on the internet, you can definitely leave it to me to dive into all of the details. I think it's important to highlight the issues that don't get all of the recognition of maybe the Logan Pauls or the Tanas or the, Colleen Ballingers, because these situations definitely affect real people and need to be talked about. If you have any suggestions about future deep dives in your niche community, please leave a comment down below. Until next time, keep your friends close and your Photoshop skills very sharp. Bye. Hey, you should check out some of my other videos. If you want.
My acting skills are on fleek. My lighting changes every time I make a video. Maybe I'll get some lights. Maybe that's what I'll do next. I'll get some lights. I'm pretty sure this mic is not even working. Does anybody know how to work a mic? Is it working? Oh, maybe it is. Maybe it is. Maybe it is. Go. I'm still recording. Maybe I should learn how to do warm-up techniques. I talk so damn fast. La 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 la. I'm gonna cut my hair off. I'm gonna cut my hair.